It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Welcome to The New Next, a podcast that addresses current events and how they will impact the future.
They released the water from Fukushima, and instantly China blocked all shipments of Japanese fish from or imports into China. You know, there's a thought that it's going to reach the US in 3 years, and the radioactive water is going to be fully radioactive in the world's ocean in the next 10 years. So it's just very, 1.3 million tons of radioactive water, enough to fill 500 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Tokyo Electric Power plans on basically treating it and releasing it over decades into the water. So, it was distilled after being contaminated from contact with fuel rods at the reactor when the 2011 earthquake destroyed the power plant. And it's, I'm not for sea pollution in general, because unlike land pollution, it spreads instantly. So if you want to do a sample experiment for yourself, take out some food coloring, put it in water, and I think when you do that, it will help you think twice about dumping stuff into the ocean. This is the lifeblood of our Earth, and as an environmentalist, you hate to see stuff like this happen, where engineering designs, human-made designs, create elements that destroy our environment. The same can be said for blowing up the pipeline. It's just in the North Sea. It's just, or the Nord Stream pipeline. So I don't know. You can't always be right, but this is definitely going to be causing some pain to Japanese fishermen, and a lot of people aren't happy about it. So I don't know if this is a talking point for China to try to push themselves more in this environmental stewardship role, despite the criticisms that they have for their own emissions. But it's definitely a flashpoint, and it's a specific event. Back in 2001, there was a huge, or 2011, there was a huge concern by people on the West Coast that the sea would be tainted and all that reactor stuff would destroy wildlife in the Northwest and along California and Oregon and stuff. So I don't think that concern has gone away. And I think it's definitely a event in time that can be used to attack a certain technology, much like the Deepwater Horizon event was for visually seeing the destruction of animals, fish, birds covered with oil. So it's just not if you're going to be engineering, you should try to do it right. And if it's ever, obviously people do that, but, a lot of times economic interests take over and people cut corners. A good example of that is China right now tons of their buildings are crumbling because they're built with basically horrible materials, where that if an earthquake hit, everybody would die. There's no way the thing's going to stand up. It's like living in a crumbly sponge. So we're living now in a world that was built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s primarily. And there's a lot of, I'd say, things sitting out there that we don't really know what the outcome's going to be if they fail. And we'll see what happens with Fukushima. But, a lot of people aren't happy about it.